Hello, everyone. Welcome again to this time to episode 24, series 5. This is your hostess, Dr. Maslin and M.OPARAOJI. Today, we are going to try to make it as brief as possible. Um, Recently, I had shared episode 23 on what I call Dirty December. And you could go to that and see what that means. Um, I, I was working on this aspect before that, actually. But I decided to, share that with you before this. The reason why I did that was to let you have an idea of what activities are out there. So today, what I'm quickly going to share with you some of the sample festivals that I have been able to put together of top African festivals. So your own role as my colleagues on the other side of the mic will be to search in your areas and let me know if there are any very important festivals that are missing on this list. And I know there are many. Um, your job and my job is to promote what we have. If not, people will not know what we have. So you and I go to places that we look up and says people have written about them to say this is good and this is not good, and we choose according to those reviews. So yours and mine, our roles are to really share what we know, especially about Africa. Remember, this podcast is on Africa and society, our culture. We have so much in Africa to offer. The thing is that people don't have an idea, and I'm going to be able to sit on that a little bit because I have heard from your emails back to me a lot of questions about destinations and what is there in Africa. I am not, I have traveled quite a bit. I will call myself part of a world traveler because of my job. Um, I'm one of those who used to live out the suitcase, but I had to cut it down a little bit. But it's so much to see out there. So without much ado, we're going to get into this. Um, Again, today's topic is top African festivals. Now, what I have done here is by no means order of importance or places that are better than the others. No, it's just a brainstorm of what I have put together. And why do we talk about this? Let's talk about the many African festivals. Why do we care? The most important thing is that people, that's how countries make money. Each of these festivals that I'm going to talk about make money for their respective countries. And not only that, actually money is not the most important, is that's the way we, hold on to our culture. Some of them or majority of them actually rehash the culture for the generation next. So it imagine local traditions. Each festival is a deep dive into what used to be and what we can take and make our own. Customize what we have. We don't have to change a whole lot, but modify them or customize them. Engage with local artisans and performers. Again, this is where we have the artists, the handcraft items or have crafted items, the traditional foods that are now dying. We learn how to make them. I could tell you some of the dishes that my grandmother used to make that I may have forgotten how to do that, which is not kosher. So we need to keep our tradition, our culture, building, connections. Festival opens door to you know about other people's culture. There will be no wars or no enmity in the world if we are to understand each other by the way that people live. Their living is not better than yours, and yours is not better than them. And in that case, you don't look down on anyone. Um, Again, you look at into that. What I am doing is creating awareness. And when I say I'm creating awareness, it's for you to go to do the deep dive and do some research. This also, I did research before I came here to talk to you. So there are festivals in Africa for 2025 with dates and all that. Or you could engage. There are so many very authentic and very reliable travel agencies that you could also consult. So let's go into that now. Well, let's start with Kenya. There is this Mombasa carnival or carnival. Some people call it carnival. Carnival. I would call this carnival. And this one occurs every November. It is very colorful, like you can see. And one of the things I do is I engage your sense of colors, or change your senses of sight, of sound, auditory, and visual as well. And so you make the time to read the words when you have a moment to listen to the podcast. I also put the slides in so that you can follow certain things that I may not be pronouncing according to the some people say we have accents. Yes, I do. I'm not apologetic about it, but this is why I put this here so you can see when I say potato, I mean potato or whatever way you want to call it. But this is one that happens in Kenya, and it happens across the communities representing the cultural diversity. So if you're ever in Kenya, look that up. If you are there in November, prepare for that. Western Sahara. Some of you may not know that it is a country in Africa, a small one for that matter. And it used to be called Villa Cisneros. That's the Dakla. Dakla is the peninsula out in that Western Sahara, a city. That city is now being disputed as a territory between, um, um, these two entities, and is currently occupied by Morocco. Let's not go into the politics, but what really enticed us more there is the Dakla Nomads Festival. During this festival, it is held in Sahara, and you know how hot Sahara can be. The desert is a desert. Um, this is where you see people show their resilience to that nomadic culture. Nomadic means they're going from place to place, maybe in search of water, I don't know, or shelter. Um, but the festival showcases camel races, traditional Sahara music, dance, you name it. But because of the nomadic nature of this group, the festival dates change. So look it up before you want to, if you want to really go to the Dakar Nomads Festival. Now let's talk about the one in Burkina Faso. Now today is everybody's, favorite country with a favorite person out there. FESPACO Film Festival is actually a Pan-African film and television festival that takes place in Ouagadougou. Okay? It's the largest film festival in Africa. Can you imagine that? And, it's been there for years, but nobody knew. 50 years in 2029, so it's climbing up there. So it's a week-long activity with films screened from everywhere in the city, different venues. And at the end, a top prize is given called the Yenega. It's a golden stallion. This is our version of Cannes Festival, people call Cannes or Cannes Festival that happens in France. This should be our own, maybe Oscar and all that, because it's Pan-African. So it's held in March every other year. But recently, safety concerns with all the coups and stuff going on, and precautions are being taken. But it's for you to know that this goes on. Let's move on to Niger. Niger has the Gerawa Festival. This is a captivating one that is held by the Wadabe clans in Chad. Chad is the capital of Niger, or Niger, like some people call it. It displays wearing of colorful clothing, face painting, hypnotic dances and chanting, all, you can see that in the picture there. The event truly epitomizes Africa's rich cultural heritage in a contest to draw the attention of women, all the songs, all the dancing. And this is held in October each year. So if you ever find yourself in Niger or Niger, like some people say, go to the Gira World Festival. Guinea, we've went to Guinea-Bissau Carnival. This is a beautiful one. It holds at different locations in the country, with the biggest event in the capital of the country of Guinea-Bissau. So there are parades, dances. You know, this at a time this little country did not have electricity, and so but they are happy to make do with what they have with all the troubles that go on in that area. But the marking the core of the festival is the happiness and the cultural aspect that they harness. And you see the lovely ladies, not hiding anything. During the month of February, when the weather is really at its most or at its best, that the carnival takes place over 4 days before Lent season for those Christians. Let's step into Rwanda. The Kwita Izina Festival. This is the Rwandan ceremony that celebrates the giving of a name to a newborn gorilla. And you see, this is where they preserve their primates. This is a mark to show that they care for these animals that are going extinct. And they liken it to the baby, the real baby ceremony. It aims at helping them monitor these little gorillas so that they monitor them growing up instead of being poached by people who come in to destroy these habitats. Okay. And, every September, this is happening. So if you ever go there, do that. Look at the picture of them dressed like the gorillas. We're in Botswana now. The Métis Song Festival began as grassroots initiative, and this is how most of these things start, to promote local talent, and now it's evolved into attracting artists and audiences from across the region and beyond. At this occasion in Botswana, brings in live events annually in the month of April in the city of Gaborone. So it lasts for days. So if you ever find yourself there, go learn the culture. Zanzibar, the Festival of the Dhow countries. That's what it's called. The dhow, for people who don't know, is an Arab sailing vessel that is used for transportation and trade along the Indian coast, ocean coast of Africa. Yeah, Africa has a lot of big bodies of water. So here, um, creativity is the key that is focused on music, theater. This annual festival are for when we say the Dhow countries are those countries that surround all these areas, including the Gulf states, Ocean Islands, Iran, India. Actually, those are not in Africa, but they are invited to also participate. And these are all showcasing art and culture from Africa and held in the first 2 weeks of July. Each year, they have a specific theme to do that. And the good thing is that the organization, that caters to all these or organizes this is the Zanzibar International Film Festival. And you can guess how the country gets their money back by the surge of people coming in. This was established in 1997 to help people develop film industry and other related cultural endeavors. We move into Tanzania. The Zanzibar International Film Festival is one of the ones that we have in East Africa since 1997. So attendees will enjoy arts, reading, films, and from across Africa and Indian Ocean island nations. Includes, again, the Dao races that we talked about. Empowering, inspiring workshops are also given to generation of new actors and screenwriters, producers. So as you see that Africa is blossoming, people who are in other areas who interested in filmmaking are now going to surge into learning this if they haven't been doing that already. It's an annual event that happens in that historic island of Zanzibar over the period of 9 days. So you see, the good thing about Africa is that if you one day we have Africa has a white population and the black population, green, yellow, and brown in between. So if you really you want the white group, you can find them. You want the black group, you can find them. You want in between, you can find them, and in between you find everything that you need. That is why it's really a rich country. Sorry, a rich continent. So the country of Swaziland, that's what I wanted to say, is next. Swaziland has a few, actually. Let's talk about the Inkwala Festival, which is held in Eswatini area of the country with traditional dances, colorful attires, honoring the Swazi spirituality and heritage. And as you can look at them there, they are all dressed accordingly. It is a sacred annual ritual festival, celebrates unity, celebrates renewal, and this was a monarchy. So the king participates and the wider community also get involved. This spans several weeks. Can you imagine a country that is partying for a week? I love that, or several weeks in this case, held from December to January. So including the cutting of the sacred tree. So what they do is at the end of these several weeks, they cut a sacred tree to symbolize for them a fresh start for the following year. Isn't that cool? So I liken that to again, Dirty December, because it feels like they started in December time and ending in the new year, just like I mentioned in yesterday's episode. Again, Swaziland has Umlanga Reed Dance Festival. You see those uh, maidens there, young ladies. Many of them, over 40,000, gather and dance for their royal queen mother. And this dates back centuries. It's a tribute to the royal family. It lasts for over a week in the last week of August of each year. So if you're ever in Swaziland, make sure you go enjoy the party. Now we're moving on to Ghana. This voodoo festival is not just in Ghana, Togo, Benin Republic, and just like we have them in Brazil and Jamaica and everywhere else. It's really a widely honored festival. Some people hear voodoo or they see voodoo, they're like, oh, it's evil. Not all voodoo things are evil. It's part of somebody's culture, actually. So voodoo festival is held at Ouida and Lomé in the Republic of Benin and Togo, respectively. Sorry. It's colorful, it's vibrant, and there are really devoted people to voodoo festival or voodoo worship or that. Festival, they used it voodoo dolls and animal skins are worn chanting and dancing to drum beats. There's nothing really juju about that. But aside from those dancing and chanting, there's also horse racing on the beach. So this is held annually, in January for several days. Okay. Ghana has a whole lot. Fetu Afaye Festival in Ghana. And I do apologize in advance if I mispronounce any of these festivals' names. I do apologize. It's this one is celebrated by chiefs and people of Cape Coast in the central region of Ghana, and it started because of an outbreak of disease that killed many people in the region. So quite often now, every year they celebrate the survival from that, calamity to keep the town clean and to prevent another epidemic. So what do we think? We should do one for COVID, don't you think? For every city to do one for COVID so that it doesn't come back, we should have done one for Ebola and the rest of them to cleanse the land, actually. So this particular festival is celebrated on the first Saturday in the month of September every year by the Ogoa people of the region. So if you're ever in Ghana, help them thank the good Lord for sparing them. Now we have the Homowo festival also in Ghana. The funny thing is that these festivals all have deep meanings of why they exist. And this is why I really loved reading through them. I felt like I was in those cities, celebrating with them. This one is a vibrant one, it's celebrated by the Ga people of Ghana. That's a tribe in Greater Accra region. So it's known as Festival of Hoping, sorry, at Hunger or Hoping at Hunger. Because this group had, a bout with famine, where there was no food in the land, followed by bountiful harvest. So God gave them food after, there was dryness in the land. So this festival reflects the resilience of these Ga people who triumphed over hardship. See, this attitude of gratitude is what we keep talking or saying that, if we persevere and unify or stay in unity like the Ga people did, um, the Homowa will reach all of us, which means hooting and hunger, powerful expression of gratitude for the harvest. And then the reminder of the importance of community. It looks like when this was going on, the community and everybody shared whatever they had and held on to each other. So this festival takes place in May and September, depending on the region, and involves series of rituals, planting of maize, um, again, a lot of food. If you look at the pictures, traditional ceremonies are going, and then the joyful street celebrations of same food in abundance. Now we're going to Egypt, the Sphinx Festival. This festival aims to celebrate Egypt's past, ancient past. We know Egypt has strong past, rich past, and they use some of these festivals to educate people, especially the young, in understanding and celebrating what has been. And the world got a lot from Egypt. So it features several exciting events like firework plays, boat races, and all that. Um, and it invites travelers from everywhere. They gave us the pyramids and all that. And, it's people who have gone will share with you that, there's no way you can finish enjoying what the past has offered. So the Sphinx ceremony is a 5-day festival held in June of each year at El Guna, a Red Sea town in Egypt. So you can see how colorful that is. Now, again in Egypt also, we have um, Abu Simbel Sun Festival. This one was a little bit of has a little bit of mystery to it. It was documented that magic does happen when you go to this festival. Thousands of people gather to celebrate. I guess there was a mixture of human intelligence, but the natural phenomena of how Egypt has all these um, strong aura of the beyond, the spirit world going on. So this was saying that very early before the festival even starts, crowd will gather in this particular area where they have the statues of the little gods all bathed in sunlight. And so they are sharing the experiences. They will share the experiences like where Pharaoh Ramses II statues was, he was always looking at himself as a king, as a god. And then the Ra, who is the sun god, and Amun, the king of the gods, all of them, there is a time when and this doesn't happen often, it's once in a while the sun converges on all that and gives these statues and out of this world ambience, and so but then in that same situation is, they juxtaposed with the far god of darkness. And the funny thing is that they keep saying that this particular festival will show you that where the sunlight has hit these three other statues, but leaves the PTAH1 star alone in darkness, and where this statue is for the past 3,200 years has not seen light. So one wonders what will happen when it does. So when the sun rises, and the shadow starts coming, everyone then starts eating and drinking. And days concludes. And every February 22nd, the anniversary of the accession of the throne, they come do this again. And every October, the 22nd of the birthday, they also come back to do. That's the only two times when um, the festival happens. So, young ones, go and bring us stories. Now we're moving on to Ethiopia, the Timkat Festival. It's celebrated January 19th or January 20th if it's a leap year, and corresponds with the 10th day of Tar in the Ethiopian calendar. Most of people don't know that Ethiopia has their own calendar from the from the earlier beginning of their existence. Ethiopia is one of those countries that was never colonized, and actually they have the first of a whole lot of things. And I think I have a few of them in my past episodes. One that when I talked about Africa and the firsts that we have in Africa, the first university, the first church. Ethiopia has a whole lot. The festival that we're talking about today, Timkat, celebrates the baptism of Jesus in the River Jordan, the what they call the Orthodox uh, Tewahedo celebration of Epiphany. So this is the thing, another religious thing to that. This festival is best known for the ritual, the reenactment of baptism, similar to such performed by numerous Christian pilgrims to the Holy Land when they visit the Jordan River. So you see that they are creating their own in that area. So if you're ever there, go witness. Ethiopia again gives us Mescal Christian Festival. That's how spiritual Ethiopia is. This festival has been observed for over 1,600 years. Go figure. It commences discovery of the true, and this is the celebration because they say they are the ones that discovered the true cross upon which Jesus was crucified. So they mark this with a colorful procession of priests, deacons, choir singers, walk around in huge pride, bearing ceremonial crosses and wooden torches decorated with olive trees. So I am assuming this is also like the Passover or like the triumphant entry with the palm trees that we do in Catholic Church. That's what I belong, where I belong. Then at the end, the fire is set to this pyramid-shaped structure, and then the faithful use the ash to make the sign of the cross on their foreheads, just like we do during Lent. Um, um, sorry, Ash Wednesday. Event is held in Addis Ababa's Mesco Square each September. The world actually is a small place. South Africa. We are now in Cape Town International Jazz Festival. Okay, is the biggest jazz festival actually, like they say, in South Africa and maybe actually in Africa, in Cape Town, where you have jazz legends from all over the world converge, perform for 2 days at the International Convention Center. It's in its 21st year and attracts crowds, and because of that, they're asking you to buy your tickets in advance, way, way in advance, or you may not be able to get in. So, an event occurs last weekend of March or the first weekend of April each year. Again, we're still in South Africa. There is a National Arts Festival. Um, the funny thing, and which is good, is that sometimes we have uh, um, government really stepping in and doing wonders. So this South African Tourism Department um, hosts this, or they organize this festival at Grahamstown, Eastern Cape, South Africa. Um, it's the biggest arts celebration in African continent, they say, which gathers diverse artists from different corners of the creative world, dancers, musicians, painters, and even just mere art lovers. And the festival, has workshops and attracts visitors. It lasts for days and weeks from June to July each year. So if you're South Africa, go have fun. Continuing in South Africa is the Humanus Whale Festival. And this is regarded as the only eco marine festival in the world. Can you imagine that? It offers experience for all ages. This is where you have the southern right whales make their way into the body of water in that part of the world. Um, the experience includes learning about marine conservation efforts, shopping is also available, food, music is going on. The festival takes place at the end of September or early October, which is also coinciding with the peak of whale activity in the region. It focuses on awareness of how we can help protect the whales and all other marine wildlife. So if you are one of those who would like the whales and the sharks, here's your chance. Now we're heading into Morocco. The Moroccan, Noah World Music Festival. Um, it's a showcase of Morocco's Arab, African, Islamic, and you name it, heritage music through music, and it's held in the city of Essaouira. So this festival, it has its own music genre, which combines African rhythm with Islamic rituals. So apart from that, the hypnotic sound that comes alongside the performances, the festival has workshops, art again. Africa loves art. The you also take advantage of the Moroccan rich cultural landscape, and everybody really comes to it from every part of the world, and also to taste the African cuisine. It is held in June each year. Morocco again gives us Mawazine International Music Festival. This one is by the royal family organizing or making sure it happens, and it features many international and local music arts. It's said that this one brings in millions of people. It's massive and turns Rabat into a non-stop party for 9 days. Look at that crowd in that picture. Music from everywhere in the world. It attracts all in the month of June every year. Now we're stepping into my own country, Nigeria, and we're starting with Argungu Fishing Festival. And this one is celebrated in Kebbi State, northern Nigeria, and it includes swimming competition and bare hand fishing. This is where people like try their hands in who's going to catch the biggest fish. There is canoe racing, there's white duck hunting. Some of these are just side attractions, but there is also music, drums, and dances in the open air. At the event, there's always a winner who catches the biggest fish, and that person is celebrated. And then after this fishing period, the river is sheltered, and people do not get into that river in order for the river to breed the fishes for the next festival. Isn't that cool? So the 4-day event takes place in February, marking the end of the farming season and the start of the fishing one. So if you're in Nigeria, come to Argungu Festival. We're still in Nigeria at the Doba Festival. Again, I did not start in any preference. It's just how I put them together. This one is also in northern Nigeria and celebrated in the cities of Maiduguri, Kano, Katsina, Zaria, Ilorin, Bida, you name it. These are the Hausa Fulani areas as a major part of Eid al-Kabir, which is the Feast of the Lamb, and the Eid al-Fitr, end of Ramadan. So all these mark the end of the holy month. So the festival was originally celebrated to mark the advent of war in the olden times between ancient kingdoms. But since there are no more wars, and sometimes they use it to uh, organize parades for emirs and their councils to showcase who the heavy fighters are, or the people who defended their territories better. But those days are past, there are no more wars, so now they use it to end the holy month. The core Arewa culture historically dates back to the 14th century. The festival featuring cultural, and all these includes the equestrian, which is horseback riding, and the core Hausa Fulani culture. It happens twice every year and attracts visitors from all over the world. Your festival, or some people call them Adamu Orisha, is that is held in Lagos State, mainly in Lagos Island. Back in the days, it used to be a festival to escort the soul of a departed Lagos Oba or king or chief, and ushering in a new one. It was a homage to the dead, but that has shifted a little bit. So this 24 days festival now, features parades. Participants dressed, like you see in the picture, white flowing robes that cover their entire bodies, top, hats, and stuff. And all these dancers or the masquerades are referred to as Eyo. And the festival takes place whenever an occasion and tradition demands, and especially in part of a final burial rites of a highly regarded chief in the king's court, the king, the chief, the oba, or anybody who is up there. So, if you're in Lagos Island and there's this going on, some of us who grew up in Lagos will tell you that when this starts here, if you don't know the culture or the ritual, yeah, stay away, stay behind us. Back still in Nigeria, Oshun Oshogo Festival is the Western one again, held in the Western aspect of Nigeria among the Yoruba ethnic tribe. It attracts thousands of people who are Oshun worshippers. That's a god, spectators and tourists from all walks of life. For the people of Oshogbo land, this again marks the cleansing of the city and cultural reunion of the people and with their ancestors, which is the founder of Oshogbo Kingdom. So it's all these are all cultural. There is nothing evil in anything. But the foreign bodies or anybody who doesn't understand your culture will tell you it's that. It's not. And some of these things work hand in hand with Christianity or the new religion that we all acquired after we had all this. The Osho Festival is a 2-week long celebration, and followed by 3 days, and then there is a lighting of the 500-year-old 16-point lamp called the Ino Olojumeri Dilogun. Don't kill me. I tried. The festival is celebrated in the month of August at the Grove each year. Moving on, we now are in Calabar. Calabar is the south in the south side of Nigeria. Calabar Carnival, referred to as Africa's biggest street party, and this was coined by the former state governor, and it's a month-long event in Cross River State. Holds every December for Christmas celebration yearly. And again, this is likened to, now you see why I shared a little bit about Dirty December before I went into this, because that will give you a little bit idea of what I was going into. So that's a little bit about, gives you an idea of Dirty December. So this colorful event, its inception was 2004, and it draws millions of people within and outside Nigeria, and especially during that period of the year when everybody is traveled home. I liken this, or many people have likened it to New Orleans, Louisiana's Mardi Gras. Some of you who have been to Mardi Gras, it's almost the same, with the street dances, parades, colorful outfits, fashion show, beauty pageant, you name it. During this festival, we also have South Africa, Brazil, Mexico, Rwanda, Greece, all these countries coming in to celebrate with the Calabar people. Yeah. Ofala, we're now into the Igbo area, Igbo ethnic tribe. Ofala Festival of Nigeria is celebrated for the royalty, or by the royalty, serving as the official cultural outing of the king and members of his cabinet. It dates back to the 18th century and is practiced mostly by, like I said, the Igbo people of the southeast of Nigeria, especially the Anambra State people, Onitsha, Newi, Aguleri, Ukpo, and you you can name more. It's the longest running Igbo festival, some said, serving as a rite of renewal of the Eze, or the Obi king, and attracts thousands of people within and outside the country again. This is a way that they come and witness or pay homage to their king, to the Oba, um, um, or the head of that area. The festival Obi, actually, we have Obi in Igbo land. The festival Oba is the Yoruba one, but we have Obi. The festival is held every first weekend in January. Now we go into, last but not the least, I think, is Nigeria. We're still in Nigeria. This is the New Yam Festival. I wanted to spend a little time on here because this is actually the one that is akin to me, because in my community of Mbise, we have Irijin Mbise every year in August. Before August 15th, nobody touches yam officially. But after the blessing on August 15th, Mbise has eaten yam. Every son and daughter of Mbise all over the world will henceforth celebrate. And it's huge celebration. I have not heard of any Mbise group anywhere in the world, even in Iceland, that does not celebrate Jimbise or the New Year Festival, wherever they are. And our friends, look forward to it because it's as flamboyant as they come, and we make it real. That's culture. Our children learn from that. So the Igbo tribe really takes pride in this festival, which is in August in most cases, and some people do this in October. But I know that my community does in August. It is embedded in our culture. It ties our communities together, especially in the Southeast area. Okay. The new festival is also celebrated in some minority areas. And if you look at my episode on the yam that I did, I think it's in series 1, it will tell you a little bit about what other countries consume yam. And this festivity, like I said, is celebrated everywhere in the world, especially by those diaspora out there. Okay. Like I said, this is going to be a short one because you can go and look at it yourself. The reason why I do all this also is for those of our young ones who, yes, you go to Caribbean, you take a vacation here and there. Um, I'm not saying don't go, but it's time you started, shifting your a little bit to see what Africa can give. There's a whole lot going on there, and other people come and enjoy it. Why can't we? So the next time, I know some of you have asked me about if you're going to Africa, where do you stay? I am going to look into that. But I want to thank you for listening again today. And the next time I talk to you will be in the month of June. Thank you again for hanging with me. I appreciate you all. This is Dr. Maslin and M.OPARAOJI saying sayonara.